Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now, yo guys, this is Reinhardt. So guys, let's go over some freaking glyphs here, and I'm gonna be talking about the glyphs that I think are the best for PvP, for us and unholy. So let's get started right away here. First of all, the Glist Mechanic. We are losing primary glyphs, and those are usually main DPS glyphs, and they're more or less rolled into the basic core. I think it's actually a beautiful mechanic because, let's say we have a glyph of Scourge Strike, glyph of Icy Touch, and whatever it is, those glyphs that actually help us boost in DPS and keep us competitive, they're kind of rolled into main base things. So I think there could be a good thing if they rolled all the glyphs that increase our performance into our base abilities. Not 100% sure about that yet. Glyph of Anti-Magic Shell. Because your anti-magic shell to basically absorb all the magic damage, so we're losing it, we're losing extra 2 seconds of it like it used to be in Cataclysm, and I'm perfectly fine with that because it was pretty OP and it was kind of holding us back against the defensive versus physical DPS. And I really think this glyph is cute and stuff, but I don't think it's really amazing per se, because the way I'm thinking about it is that if we get focused by 8 casters, the top absorption for anti-magic shell is roughly 50% of our HP. So if 8 casters decide to anal rape us, they can do it and have the anti-magic shell just flop, because they will do so much damage on us. And for the casters who want to win against us 1v1, when we pop anti-magic shell, it gives us a runic power baseline now, which is awesome. So they most likely are not gonna be casting anything into us. So I'm saying no for me personally to this glyph. Glyph of Blood Bowl, increase radius of your blood bowl by 50%. I think it's really good to the rolling blood. Maybe for unholy in RBGs when I need to just test it out. The first one is kinda skittish. Wild Spew is actually pretty horrendous ability. Now I tested out. It's at 40 yards range, but now it's 10 yard range, and deal 1k shadow damage and cast 60 runic power. That is a bit too much, so I need to think which one should I pick out of all 3 of them. So this could be actually good. I think it should be a must for a blood, especially for PvE. Glyph of Bone Shield, 50% speed while the Bone Shield is active. Really good maybe for FC blood decays, but that's about it. Glyph of Icy Touch does 150 frost damage. It does about like 2 to 3k damage right now in basically Cataclysm, and it is shit. So when we have a shit and we put sprinkles on it, it's still gonna be shit. So this glyph is shit. That's the runic weapon is PvE, increase the threat generation of your weapon. Dark Simulacrum is very interesting, reduces cooldown of your Dark Simulacrum by 30%. I think it's amazing because Mind Freeze is gonna be a 15-second cooldown, and you know what pisses the most players about DKs is that when they juke our Mind Freeze, we can Pet Stun, Strangulate, Death Grip. Well, guess what? Now we can do a Pet Stun, Strangulate, Death Grip, Dark Simulacrum every 30 seconds. So it's sort of a good way to do it. If they counter us, we can still copy and do something really useful. This gonna be on the borderline with the other glyph I'll show you later on. Glyph of Dark Succor. When you kill an enemy, you basically have a free death strike that heals you for 20% of your HP. We all know what happened to the old glyph of Dark Succor. May he rest in peace, and may whoever proposed the change that completely nerf decays against the physical DPS be damned. Let's move on. Death and Decay. Glyph of Death and Decay reduces movement speed of the enemies within its radius by 50%. It's an amazing glyph because we're losing a desecration ground, or it's rolled over into our level 90 talent. So it's really good. There's also an animation delay, and I think it's actually pretty damn cool. Another thing I want to talk about is basically our necrotic strikes no longer gonna be required unholy rune. They actually moved into the death runes. So for unholy runes, all we can do is Pluck Strike, Scourge Strike, or Death and Decay. So I think Death and Decay will be actually more frequently used into our rotations, and am gonna be picking that glyph for 100% damn freaking sure. Let's move over to the next glyph. Glyph of Death Scroll, another a must to have glyph. It basically puts an absorption equals to half of your attack power. Almost half. 0.49. I'm still gonna say it's half. Sue me, bitches. So basically, this glyph is amazing. How many times were your teammates were getting anal raped and you actually had no idea how to assist them? You would Death Grip and they would Shadow Dance, Shadow Stab, Death Grip, or Chargeback. So you'd actually do more harm than actually good with your DK. So this is actually a good answer for us in terms of our appeals. Like, we can actually put absorptions on our allies. I think it's gonna be amazing. The thing I'm gonna probably be using is something like cast at party member number 1 or some shit, Death Coil to heal them, and probably bind them to my F1, F2 and F3 keybinds. This is freaking amazing glyph. Finally, DKs get some sort of like appeals for their team members. And yes, the other melees I think have much stronger appeals than us, simply put, because of disarm and amount of stuns. Now, Glyph of Death Grip. By 5 year range increase your Glyph of Death Grip. Cute, nice little, oh, cutie pie glyph, but to be honest, it's not worth a slot. Just simply put, these glyphs are way more powerful. Enduring diseases reduces damage of your disease by 30% and makes them undispellable. Could be good in RBGs, could be not good in RBGs. I will need to test it out. But in all honesty, I think it's I think that we can probably get away without it. Let's put it this way. This spell is gonna be 8-second cooldown. It's gonna be treated more like a little mini cooldown. So if the healers are using their dispel mechanics to dispel our diseases, more power to them, because then our luck can fuck them up with the fears. This glyph is gonna be amazing and probably a must to have for Frost Decays. Glyph of Icy Touch. Your Icy Touch dispelled one half-full magic effect from the target. It is pretty damn cool because, let's put it this way, there's comes like melee glyphs with the Frost Decay that basically don't have an offensive dispel and they would really want to have one. So this would actually be a really good answer for them. Let me reiterate here a little bit. Imagine TSG with offensive dispel. How awesome would that be? Now the reason why I'm saying it's better for Frost is because for Unholy we'll have to use our Festering Strikes to get Death Runes. And yes, of course we can actually use maybe Pestilence or Blood Strikes to get our blood into Death Runes, thus losing half of our Death Runes from Frost. And yes, we can pick maybe Icy Touch, and then we might be able to get a Chillbane so we won't be gimped in terms of the snare. But let's put it this way, you're doing so much high maintenance as Unholy in order to get that little bit of Icy Touch offensive dispels, and we can only do it for 2 Frost Runes, not like DK who can actually maybe do 4 of them in a row and get something good out of the, pretty much clean up his target before unleashing a lot of damage. Glyph of Mind Freeze. Reduces cooldown of Mind Freeze by 2 seconds, but also raises its cost by 20 runic power. And quite honestly, it is a garbage. Well, maybe not garbage, maybe it's cute. 20 runic power is not that much, but the problem with that is that it just basically cannot compete with the major glyphs. Glyph of Pestilence increases your range by 5 yards. I'm using it right now in RBGs on my Unholy TK. I need to test it out and see if it will be viable later on. Glyph of Shifting Presences. You retain 80% of your runic power when switching presences. I think it actually could be very good, and what I'm gonna be sacrificing is Glyph of Dark Simulacrum. I need to test it out. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I think it's awesome if you take a conversion and would go with a Frost Presence in order to heal up for a little bit and then go back to Unholy to start DPSing. Or if you would be running out the rune and runic power, get a Frost Presence, you can have reduced global cooldown and regenerate more resources. Get a lot of runes going, get a lot of runic power going, and switch back to Unholy Presence and start bursting the shit out of people. Glyph of Strangulate increases the silence effect by 2 if you do it on a cast. Well, it is pretty cool and I like it, but in all honesty, not worth the slot again. Unholy Command is reduces finish the cooldown on death grip when you kill a target. It actually is pretty good in RPGs right now. I fucking love it to death, but it's no longer gonna be worth the slot again in Mists of Pandaria. And Vampiric Blood is for blood, and it basically gonna increase the healing intake by 15%, but no longer grants you extra health. I probably FT'd once or twice, and that was horrible, so I really cannot say whether Vampiric Blood is actually gonna be worth it or not. And then we have the basic cosmetic shit here, and by cosmetic I mean this one we kinda have to take. Glyph of Death Core refunds 20 runic power when used to heal the allied minion, and you actually gonna have to be using it a lot on your ghoul. Glyph of Gaze is kinda bugged for Unholy. Glyph of Horn of Winter, oh yeah. Yay, there's some cute animation, whatever. Path of Frost allows you to fall from a greater distance without suffering damage. Well, that's cool, I guess. Brazilian Grip, this one, we're gonna be picking this one again, because sometimes when the Paladin bubbles right when we actually pop our Death Grip, or the Frost Mage is trying to ice block our Death Grip, guess what? It's not gonna get off the cooldown. And Glyph of Tranquil no longer taunts the target. This could be fun for PvE when you grip the fucking mob out of your team members and he's still gonna be aggro to whoever he was. I think it's awesome. So guys, that's it for the Glyphs of Mists of Pandaria. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please thumb it up, subscribe to my channel, and I will be releasing a couple more RPG guides videos very shortly. Next one gonna be on my priority is RPG class roles, and I'm gonna be connecting everything. It's gonna be a fucking masterpiece, but like you know my guides, they are gonna be long and nerdy as shit. So with that said, it's probably gonna be divided into 3 videos, and those videos still gonna be long. Thank you guys for watching this video, and до свидания.